Alonia going to be first up. I think it's the first time Alonia got to play in tonight, and that's going to be versus Mega Dragon. Dragon and Alonia just going to have to go against one of those both. Necrolord Pharaohs going to be tier set for Dragon. Does Alonia get a tier set of their own? I don't think they do. I think the damage difference is just noticeable. Look at that extra bleed power. Although Dragon is taking a bit of damage of his own too, as Alonia just trying to keep the pressure rolling. Going to be a Barkskin of Alonia. I think also Barkskin out of Dragon. Dragon does he have a wall? Hopefully he does. No longer has a trinket. None of them do. Dragon is under quite a bit of pressure as Alonia got a little bit of that rampant potential. Main Dragon does get himself in an emergency regeneration. Does give him a little bit of survivability before the dampening rolls in. But definitely putting pressure on that man. Alonia trying to moonfire the guy as much as possible. Dragon is actually super low in health. Could be in a dire situation. I think there's a difference between the damage versus versatility. Dragon likely doesn't have the same versatility as Alonia if you got the 4-piece tier set, because you could not get that much versatility on it. But Alonia got all that versa and has a little bit of that survivability to get out of this duel scot-free. Definitely lacking on that damage part, but popping on defenses through the damage makes it a little bit more manageable. With Alonia, kind of drained of cooldowns except for a wall. Everything got used by wall, and Ari is looking to maybe capitalize some damage. Got Alonia trapped in a static totem. Nowhere for him to go. Wall used to take down the totem. There's going to be a stun. Nothing you can really do about it. Does get up on quite a little bit of health though. Restoration Affinity bash onto Arky. Does chicken out of it with an inch up. Alonia could go for a flush cut. Do they have it? No, they're going to go for a cyclone and maybe flush cut. No, I don't think they have flush cut back up. I think that's why they're trying to go for a very aggressive cyclone just to get away from Arky and catch up on all that health as we head in towards that 2-minute duel, boys. I was going to say 2-minute dampener, but it's like, you know what? Dampening doesn't start that early. Although, what if dampening did? Because there's a lot of classes that do a lot of healing. Some duels, we have classes who will fight each other for the first 5 minutes until dampening starts rolling in, and then someone will die. So maybe dampening should start out a little earlier. Alonia kind of getting low on health as Arky sets up a big primordial, got himself a big old zap and a flesh cut as Alonia is just looking to back up and retreat behind the pillar. Going for a flesh cut of their own, interrupt by Arky. Looking to potentially get himself a big setup. That's going to be a static totem. Alonia focusing down on a totem. That gives Arky an opportunity to land a Sunder as well as a stun, making sure they got full control of the Feral Druid. Enhancement Shamans don't really have any others like 5-minute stuns like every or 5-second stuns like every other class. So for them, it's a little bit tougher to land proper CC. That Aegis Stricken, however, does absorb all of that grenade burst, and Arky still has a little bit left over. But Alonia, all those bleeds, all those bites of pure physical damage, not really giving Arky opportunity to really get much value out of the Aegis. The Thorns does come out and does get absorbed into a lot of the Aegis though. Arky put himself super low in health, and on the main bit is really short, but Alonia I think might still have it. It does get a big old bite at the end. Super unfortunate for Arky. But Alonia does end up taking him down. The back-to-back stuns, the short maim, that is rough to deal with. And Alonia looking for a more measured opener versus Awesome. We're just waiting now for the Feral Druid. He's swapping out to Kyrian actually, so Awesome so far played Necrolord, he played Venthyr, and now he's trying to see if Kyrian can work. Full big bleeds out on Awesome immediately, does get a boop versus Alonia, and that's going to be really early karma, but Awesome sells is already taking damage. What are those bleeds from Alonia? How massive are those bleeds? Also might be able to use the Sippy Cup from the Kyrian, I think it goes right now, to remove all those dots. I wonder if he's playing the Pelagos or the Clay Assault Bind. It gives you even more healing. But like over time, Maim with Awesome might just go down. Oh my goodness. What are these bleeds? Frame skip, trying to see if he might be able to skip through Alonia with a big old Kamoke, taking him down, big old bite of Alonia, survives it, bash on a frame skip. Looks like it's gonna be a Cyclone. Oh no, and frame skip is running the Resolve Trinket, so he can't really break out of CC. He can pre-immune CC. And Alonia got himself a lot of recovery after that Convoke. Only 1 more minute for frame. I'll tell you Convoke again. Alonia will not have a trinket back for that one. That's from what I see. But Alonia's looking just to get those dots running down frame. So far, these dots have been really deadly. Alonia playing to the proper master versatility build. Frames keep taking big damage out of nowhere, trying to go for a Cyclone. Potentially could maybe get himself a regrowth or two. Did Frame use a Resolve Trinket, or was that Alonia's Resolve Trinket just now? Hopefully that wasn't Frame, because that would have been some damage lost. Stun to Alonia, trying to get himself a bit of a setup. Frame still under a ton of pressure. Better be very careful. I don't know if he has Barkskin or anything. Main by Alonia has Resolve Trinket of their own. There's nothing Frame can really do about it. It's going to be over. Those dots. Boo is the last one left. This is the man we all need. He got himself a Murloc boy in the back. He got himself that classic helm. Look at all over the place with his mog. But he's going to try to see if he's the man that we need in order to take down Alonia as they're going in for a full dot setup. Get himself full dots on Alonia. That's going to be Dark Glare and everything. Dark Glare around the corner might be able to get a couple zaps. Alonia needs to make sure to remove some of those dots as they can. Once they get himself as much healing as possible, going to be swarmed back onto the Dark Glare. And Bowie just trying to find himself that line of sight, maybe to get a Malefic Rapture or two. Alonia is still under a ton of pressure. Those dots are really hurting. It's going to get himself a little bit of self-heal. The Fel Hunter joins in and is able to steal some of the buffs from Alonia. He'll be able to literally consume some of those hots. Bua trying to maintain all the dots versus Alonia. It's going to be big maim onto the Warlock. Does Alonia take him down right here? Bua is going to wall this. Might be enough of a defense. Big drain. Might be able to recover a lot of health. Looking for a Malefic Rapture spam just to get himself a bit of value from Malefic Raptures. I think with the tiers it does like 50% more damage. This isn't really a common thing we see from Warlocks who really did, is spam Malefic Rapture. But at least he got all the dots onto Alonia with the port as the Pharaoh leaps in, drain life in order to catch up, back at a little bit of health. We're only now hitting that 7% or 7-minute dampener here in a bit. 10% dampening. Did I say 7%? I meant 7 minutes. 7-minute duel, getting towards that. 10, oh no, 11% dampener. And Boa getting stricken with a maim. Dark Pack getting used in order to deal with some of the bleeds and the dots from the Feral. Alonia swinging behind the pillar for just a second. Charging back out with a Tracking Sphere and a Feral Frenzy. That's another Dark Layer joining in. All those dots ramped up. Alonia better take care of that agony as soon as possible. Bua is going to be using Drain in order to catch up on a ton of health. It looks like Alonia with the Restoration Affinity is able to quite easily deal with some of those dots, putting those powerful hots on themselves, maybe even going for Swiftman once they have a ton of pressure on them, in order to recover a lot of pressure, leaping back towards Bua with a maim and a resolve check, and Bua needs to find a way out of that resolve, but is not going to be able to. A resonator, rather. His own resolve shrink is what I meant to say, is going to let him make him sit in CC 20% more. 20% longer, which is going to make it much harder to deal with. Soul Rod getting set up. Bua trying to see if he can walk away from Alonia. Does at least have himself a Soul Rod set up. Maybe potentially big Drain. Is looking to recover. Yeah, Drain is at least costing him no mana, so he's able to recover a little bit of health. Fear into Alonia does get put away for a moment, but it's going to be getting into the stun by the Pharaoh. I think it might be over for the Warlock. And that's going to be Seed Pod. I think it's over. There's no way Alonia can go down at this point, right? There's no way. And Bua does go down. Alonia with a quick 1v5 as a Feral Druid, taking these boys out of here. Just needed a single go, but they could just go for a big old 1v5 with no classes to counter them. Was able to do pretty well.